Hello, Ramley and other family. I'm Payo Time. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And today, oh man, preview this LA Rams versus Arizona Cardinals game. I will be joined shortly by the Ramlila Sports Report. Ramlila is not here yet, but will join us very shortly. We're going to get right into this. Again, thank you so much for watching, clicking on this video, whether you're watching on the replay or live with me right now. Really appreciate you doing that. If you love talking football, and especially if you love the Rams, make sure you subscribe to this channel, smash that like button, all that jazz. I want to interact with you. Anyway, we are going to start to breaking down this game right after the intro. Yes, here we are. We are going to preview this game. I'm stoked. As I mentioned in my little vlog today, we are 3 slumbers away from the Rams playoff game against the Arizona Cardinals. I am so pumped for this game. I cannot wait. It's going to be great. I'm really optimistic that the Rams can win this game, but I want to hear from you guys. Let's see who's in the chat. We got Ricardo's here. What's up, Ricardo P? Good to see you, my man. We got NFL Chaos with Jeremy, an amazing mock draft and Jets content creator. Jeremy, hello. What's up? Good to see you, my friend. And then North Dallas 40 in the house. You know what? We'll see. I'm hoping it's 1-3. Sean McVay did point out that if it wasn't for the Dez Bryant catch, there was a good chance that Stafford would have won a playoff game. So you appreciate your head coach sticking up for his quarterback like that. Love it. We got Reddy in the house. What's up? I know I'm going to be joined by Ramlila shortly. He's not here yet, but that's okay. We are going to take a look at a few things as we preview this game. Let's start by, and of course, I want to hear from you guys. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions towards this game, put them in the chat. I'll do my best to you guys, because that's what I love to do. That's why I do all this, so I can talk to other football fans and Rams fans. So let me share my screen, because sharing is caring. And Jeremy, that's cool, man. Yeah. See, I don't have any. I just have this thing, the half-pound Reaps cup. And I'm waiting. I think I've decided I'm not going to eat this until the Rams are out of the playoffs or we've won the Super Bowl. So I want to eat it, but I'm not going to. That being said, I do have none other than the great Ramlila Sports Report joining me here. Hello, Ramlila. How are you today?
Hey, Payo. Sorry I'm late, man. I was literally I couldn't find my glasses, so we'll go without them.
No worries, man. No worries. I'm just glad you're here. Thank you so much for doing this stream with me.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Do you want to tell our viewers where can they find you and what kind of content can they expect on your channel?
Yeah, so I'm on YouTube. It's a labor of love. I didn't set out to do it for subscribers and things. I just wanted to talk about the Rams and get the Ramlila together. I'm a season ticket season ticket member. I have videos from the tailgating and inside SoFly Stadium. You can find me on Twitter at Ramlila Sports and IG Ramlila Sports also. And I just love yourself, Payo Time, Rams House TV, all the Rams Ramlila community, and you're my favorite Rams YouTuber, Payo. You're my brother, and I love your positive attitude, man. And we really appreciate you. So again, thank you for having me on.
Oh, well, thank you for those kind words and for coming on. And Ramlila, one of my favorite things about your channel is you give a perspective that, me as an East Coast Rams fan in Canada, you give a perspective that I can't experience. And I hope to get to SoFi next year. That's the dream. But I've loved watching your content. It makes me feel like I'm getting a little taste of the tailgate and the SoFi experience. So I appreciate you and what you do. So thank you so much. And anyone watching this, you got to go subscribe to the Ramlila Sports Report. I know he's not seeking subscribers, but he's well worth the sub. The link to his channel is in the description below. And we're going to talk about this game. So, Ramlila, I want to start off before we get into the game. There's and I didn't prep you ahead of time for this question, but I think it's important, and it's being discussed this week within the Ramley. And you can maybe offer more insight to this than I can. So Kelly Stafford, did you see her podcast little soundbite that's going kind of viral?
Yeah, yeah, that was unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
About there was a lot of Ram fans there. As a matter of fact, the Rams, I think it was one or two false starts that we caused because the Ramlila was loud. But the Rams were gone for 20 plus years, and from California, period. And when they left, a lot of OG Ram fans, it took a little while for them to get back on track, back on the rounds, because like my Ramlila in St. Louis, it's hard when your team leaves. We always called it loyalty over location. But the Niner fans, there was always a lot of Niner fans in California, period, not just Los Angeles. Levi Stadium is a horrible stadium. Basically, the LA Coliseum, if you had a daytime game, you'd be sunburned by the end of the day, just because it's an old stadium. They have a new stadium, and it's a horrible stadium. The turf has been it's been written that their turf is horrible. It's a bad place to play. So what other place would they like to watch a game than SoFi Stadium? Plus the 5 games in a row thing. I mean, if it was the other way around and they expected to lose, there wouldn't be so many. But yeah, unfortunately, there has been more Ram fans at other games for this game, which was surprising. I could just tell you that to speak to what you were saying. I saw a lot more Ram fans at other games as a season ticket holder. There was a lot. There was a lot of Niner fans, but like I said, but I have seen more Ram fans at other games, and this was a very important game, an awesome game it turned out to be, except for the ending. But yeah, so I understand what she's saying, because in Detroit, what else is there to do except follow the Lions during football season? But here in California, the Rams are taking back off. A lot of new fans, a lot of fans on both of our channels. Other teams coming into your to your channel and my channel, and there's one guy that comes in and he's a Seahawk and Ram fan, and I said, oh, that's kind of new, that's cool, because a lot of times you can't always see your team, if you live in California. So we'll be fine. I understand what she's saying, but it's a little different in Los Angeles. The Rams have to win here. That's why I like that we have McVay and Les Snead running the show. So yeah, she does have a point, but we just need to win. And like I said, the Niners came out because they were 5-0 against us leading up to that, and they thought there was a good chance to win. And also, it's a beautiful stadium, so the more the better. The Rams franchise will be happy to take their money for beer and concession fans and everything else.
Absolutely. And the reality is the Rams still are new to being back in the LA market, and it is going to take time to build that fan loyalty and get that true home field advantage. And I do feel like, from what I've seen of reports, and again, I haven't been to SoFi myself, I feel like there's been times this season where we have got a glimpse of that at the Bucks game or at the season opener with the Bears. So I'm optimistic, that in especially, I think this playoff game against the Cardinals, I do believe, because we know Cardinals fans don't travel nearly as well as Niners fans.
Yeah.
I do believe we're going to see that Rams home field advantage come out in this game. Are you going to this game?
You know what? I'm not going to this game. I hate to even say that. Uh, all three of them, I go to my best friends, and we have season tickets, and we have the parking pass and all that, and we were going to go to the game, but because of the day and everything, on Monday instead of Sunday, it just wasn't able. So what I'm hoping for is that we're going to win this game, and I'll be able to go travel for the next playoff game and hopefully to the Super Bowl. So I'm not going to go to this game. I kind of kick myself for not just going ahead and going myself, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. It's going to be amazing.
Absolutely, and yeah, no, I don't think a lot of people are a big fan of the Monday night playoff game. I know it's set in stone, and complaining about it really doesn't get you anywhere, but it is kind of annoying.
Yeah, like my two buddies, like one of them works in real estate and stuff, and he have new ownership, and
Mm,
there's just no way we could have worked it out where we all go, and um and so unfortunately that's what happens. It's just like the Tuesday game that we got flexed to for
right,
COVID reasons. I had to work.
right,
I had
yeah, no,
season tickets, and they send you a message saying, yeah, if you would like to donate your tickets or
right.
sell them. I'm like, wait a minute now, give me a
Oh
credit towards
man,
next year. But it happens. I'll still be there in mind and spirit, and the rest of the Ramlila will be there. Um, but yeah, I'm kicking myself. I think I wish I would have did it, but I'm looking forward to hopefully winning this game and get a chance to go travel for a different playoff game. But we'll see what happens. I got all
cool.
kinds of other things like this. Is the thing about Los Angeles, Payo, and California. As we speak, we're both blessed. I'm blessed to be able to have Rams season tickets, see my team in person. I have a Disneyland pass. I talk about that sometimes on my channel. Very fortunate.
Cool.
I just got tickets for Star Wars After Dark at Disneyland.
Oh,
For my girlfriend, she likes the Disney villains, so we're going to Villains After Dark. We're going to hopefully the Star Wars celebration in May. So there's a lot of financial situations going around, and then
yeah,
hopefully I want to get money for so when we go to the Super Bowl, that's going to be at least 10 grand.
yeah. Oh man. Well, I gotta give a couple of other shout outs here. We got Jared in the house. Good to see you, Jared. And we got La Savage Gamer. Good to see you as well. And you know what? North Dallas 40, he's gonna bring up something we were gonna talk about later, but we'll talk about it right now. Um I I'll give my thoughts about this here, and then I'd love to hear from you. So he brings up, Tom Brady's got 34 playoff wins. Stafford doesn't have any, and McVay, Coach McVay in his press conference yesterday did talk about how, you know, the or the Des Bryant catch that got overturned, and the reality is if he didn't make that catch, Stafford probably would have got his first win, and for everyone hating on Stafford for not having a playoff win, for being in the league for so long, I totally understand the criticism, and I understand the rebuttal of, well, he was with the Lions, right?
Mhm.
But what I do push back and I challenge that this is the most talented team that Matt Stafford has been on.
Mhm.
Um, the reality is he has the most talented running backs he's ever had. He's has in terms of group of receivers, he has the most talented group of receivers. And I'm not ready to say Cooper Kupp and Calvin Johnson, are the same level. They're very different receivers and the skill sets they bring, but
Well,
they're
one thing you got to remember is McVay beat him for Player of the Year in college. So no, I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
yeah, yeah, big man, yeah. Well said, well said. But I guess here's my thing. Going into this game, Stafford is not my biggest concern. I know the turnovers recently have been in an abundance, but going into this game, I'm actually more concerned about getting our ground game going against the
Yes.
Cardinals than our air game. Well, what are your thoughts?
Yes, I just want to give a shout out to my Rams brother Jared Ramirez. He comes in on my live streams too.
Yeah, I love
Appreciate it,
Jared.
brother. And but yeah, okay. So the Stafford thing. Okay, so listen, I'm not a rah Ram fan. If you play for us, I'll back you, but you have to perform. We're not going to candy coat it. We tell you exactly, and you're the same way. So Matthew Stafford. Okay, let's look at Matthew Stafford. Oh, he didn't do nothing. What's he going to do? What has he won? This and that, right? The guy, first year with the Rams, Cam Akers is out for the season, right?
Yep.
Doesn't even get on the field with them. Halfway through, Cooper Kupp's having a season for the ages. That's what's Matthew Stafford. Robert Woods goes out, right? Then you have Deshaun Jackson crying because he can't break into the starting lineup. So then we get OBJ. He gets off the plane, and Robert Woods goes out a few days before the Niner game. And as if you noticed, the Rams heads weren't in that game, in my opinion. There's a huge difference between the two games. Go figure, right? So imagine if we would have had Woods for this game. Okay, but anyway, Matthew Stafford, year one, we won the division. Over 40 plus touchdowns, 3,600 yards. Yeah, the gunslinging, he cut that down. But Robert Woods, a season for the ages, where I have a home field playoff game. He's everything as advertised. Matter of fact, in my opinion, this is before they picked the Pro Bowlers, before the turnovers. He should have made the Pro Bowl as a third quarterback behind Brady and Rodgers over Murray, because Murray didn't play the whole season. They still won without him. Imagine Matthew Stafford with off of the Rams, where we'd be. So he should have made the Pro Bowl, in my opinion. So guess what? Matthew Stafford, year one with McVay, won the division, and also won his first division crown as in the NFL in year one. So I'm looking forward to winning the Super Bowl this year, but I'm looking forward to the years behind. Imagine year two with McVay and Cam Akers to start out. So I'm good with him. He just needs a cut. I think he's beat up a little bit, tell you the truth, because early Matthew Stafford in the year would have hit OBJ, just like he was hitting Deshaun Jackson easily, because OBJ had 3 steps on him. But one thing too, I'm sorry, I'm running on.
No, I love it. You're spewing truth, man.
I want to say this. Was it Matthew Stafford's fault when we were up 17-0 against the Niners? Was it Matthew Stafford's fault when the Niners came back? Was it Matthew Stafford's fault when we couldn't stop Debo? And here's the thing with the Niners. They talk about bullies and they're very good, right? But their record speaks of who they are, right? So it's just matchups. We have young athletic guys that are light in the fanny. We don't have big guys. My boy Joseph Sebastian Day wasn't in there to help that same play they were running down right tackle with Elijah Mitchell. They kept getting us for that. If my boy Sebastian Joseph Day's in there with Ashawn Robinson, they clogged that up. But they match up good with us. So again, was it Matthew Stafford's fault after the defense couldn't hold Jimmy G? Jordan Fuller went out and he had open windows downfield because we had an inexperienced safety, and Taylor Rapp ended up getting a concussion. But was it Matthew Stafford's fault after he led us to get in the lead after all that, 24-17 to Cooper Kupp, and we had the game and the ball in hand with 2 minutes left? It was Matthew Stafford's fault that McVay got conservative. No, it was Matthew Stafford's fault that they let the Niners go right down the field again and get a field goal, but at least they didn't give up a touchdown. So you don't like the turnovers, of course, but we're division champs. Ram fans, God bless you. We all have a right of a different opinion.
Yeah,
absolutely. I don't like the turnovers, but we had that game. The Niners know it. They got kicked in the teeth in the first half. They got a glimpse of what happens. Now the deal with what happened in that game also is Sony Michel, as wonderful as he's been, he's a physical guy, and God bless him. I'm glad he's there for Henderson, but he's not a game breaker.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make the play action so effective, and so our guys aren't able to get open as fast. So now throwing to Cam Akers. Now, hopefully Cam Akers, it's a lot to ask of him because of the injury. If this was full-blown Cam Akers from last year, that play action, guess what, works a lot different. The Warners and the Warner, the linebacker of the Niners, has to come in now, and then you go boop right over their head, to Cooper Kupp or whoever's there. So I'm not worried. Matthew Stafford has been everything that we could ask for. So we're division champs. You have a home playoff win. Everyone, and he's the only quarterback. And I said this before, the John Wayne of quarterbacks, 13th league as a 13th year in the league, and he's the only quarterback that played the full season. All the young guys went by the wayside with injuries. So, like I said, I think he's a little banged up. Hopefully he got treatment and he'll be okay, because those underneath passes are not what he normally does, where he's underthrowing them. But yeah, so I'm looking forward and I'm excited. So Yeah, it's a bummer that we didn't beat the Niners, but I want to play them again, and I love a third shot at them.
Yeah, and again, I'm a huge Matt Stafford fan. What I'm not a fan of, I am at a point where I am kind of fed up with these deep balls to OBJ. They either need to get on the same page or not do them anymore. Because all of Matt Stafford's interceptions seem to have it's either an ill-advised throw in our own end that's a pick six, or it's an arm punt. And so those are the things that I criticize and I get frustrated by as a Rams fan for sure. But by no means, like, I am stoked about Stafford's season still. I celebrate his season still. He did set the Rams franchise passing record this year in the 17th game. And yeah, I'm pretty pumped about him. I want to give a couple of shout outs here before we're going to take a look at the injury report heading into this game. We got LaFonso in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm hoping McVay keeps his play calling straight. That's for sure. Grant is here 12. Good to see you, my friend. I'm hoping to collab with the Cardinal World, but we'll see. We'll see. Lopez Adventures. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. Have you discovered? I've just discovered Lopez Adventures myself. Ramlila, have you seen his channel?
Yeah, I seen him. He's I same thing with me. I ran across him. Like, oh, I didn't. There's another guy, Locked On Rams too, that I noticed
Yeah,
too.
Sosa. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's the Rams community is building, and that's how the
Yep.
fan base will come back to fruition. For in the old school Ram fans, because I see a lot of Ram stuff. Like I said, I have Disneyland tickets and our pass key, and I see a lot of Ram hats and jerseys, and I go, hey, what's up, brother? Ramlila, and I give him a high five, and I like the Cardinals guy. I told him, hey, we're coming for you. We're gonna take that division crown. And the guy's like, yeah, right. So it's always good times.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, absolutely. And Lopez, thank you so much. I look forward to talking Rams with you more in the future and more of your content to come out. I do have here with me. I'm gonna share my screen here because Sharon is caring, and we're just gonna take a look at the injury report heading into this game. There's some actual notable names on this injury report, and so if we bring up here, so the Cardinals have a little bit longer of a list, but notable names: James Conner, Zach Ertz, Jonathan Ward, Chase Edmonds, Rondell Moore. Now, I'm told that both Chase Edmonds and James Conner are going to probably be game time decisions. Edmonds has a better chance of playing than Conner does. That's a big blow for this Arizona team to lose their top two running backs if they can't play. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, Connor especially. It's hard to tell because Shanahan tried to pull a quick one. Everybody was out, and everybody's feeling sorry for the 49ers. I was actually feeling bad for them because I wanted to beat them full capacity, and then they all get activated the same day on the Saturday night. So I look for Connor to play if he's able to play, depending on what his injury is. But if he doesn't play, it's a big blow. But the return of J.J. Watt will help them on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And we even see that JJ Watt's not actually on this injury report, so he is expected to play, which is hopeful for that. When we go to the Rams injury report, there are some names on here. Aaron Donald was just injury just because of rest, so I'm not worried about him. Leonard Floyd does have a nagging back injury. It's been like that for a couple weeks. He's been playing through it. Buddy Howell, I'm pretty sure I think he'll play. Taylor Rapp with a concussion, this is a concern because with concussions you just never know. But then it's encouraging to hear Van and Matthew Stafford. Pretty sure we were optimistic of them playing, and they had full practice. But Darius Williams having a full practice, that's encouraging to hear because there was concern about him as well. But any thoughts on the Rams injury report?
Yeah, I heard maybe I didn't know that at the game. That's one thing that you can't see all the little things, and I've seen some of the highlights here and there of the game, but I was so disgusted at losing.
Yeah.
I didn't watch a lot of it, but I heard that he got stepped on. So there's no excuses. So I don't know if that had anything to do when I say banged up, because you got to step into a deep pass. But um, you know, um, I Matthew Stafford's a warrior. He'll be fine. Taylor Rapp, maybe he has a concussion when Ramsey hit him upside his head, so he'll stop
Yeah.
getting beat and start making tackles. No, I'm just kidding. But I like that we got Eric Weddle. It kind of came out of nowhere. He seems to be in shape, and that's more of an IQ thing in the back end of our defense. And I like that. Hopefully, he is in shape, and he can help gather the guys, because Ramsey can't do everything. He's a cornerback, and he's a young guy still, and he's busy focusing on the other team's better players. So our young guys have taken a big step, getting better, and so with the Eric Weddle back there, that'll help man the backfield. So I would have loved to have Eric Weddle for this last game on those deep passes to Debo when Jordan Fuller went out. But yeah, I like what they did.
And about Eric Weddle in just a second here. I got to give a couple more shout outs here. Thank you, Grandizier, for reminding people to smash that like button. Really help it. And I'm not sure how to exactly read this, but great comment here saying, I agree, Stafford did a good job this season. That comes from behind win was nice to see from him. I would love to see an 85% Cam Akers in the playoffs. Ooh, yeah. You know what? Maybe before we talk about we talk about anything else. Let's what are your expectations for Cam Akers in this game?
I want to, on one hand, I want to bring him along slow because he's a franchise running back.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if he's able to play, and like I always say, I have that saying, if you're able to play, you're able to win. I think we should just monitor his carries. I don't know if you saw one of the Niners, I can't remember his name, was trying to twist his leg, and they were playing dirty a couple of times when they got him to the ground. But yeah, if he's ready, if he's active, I want to see us throwing him the ball more, put Sony Michel in the backfield, play action Sony Michel, or actually we can use Cam Akers, play action Cam Akers, and hit Sony Michel in the backfield. But I think we can use him and monitor his carries. Let Sony Michel like a 1-2 punch, and he already got his feet wet and he's raring to go. So let's let him go, but put the reins on him a little bit. And as we get it, hopefully we'll get this game and we'll let him out a little more. But just monitor him. That's all. He's too important to this franchise.
Yeah, and Lopez Adventures here is saying he saw the same thing about the twist. I think a lot of Ram fans saw that and we're pretty ticked off with it.
And no whistle,
nothing.
But whatever, that's fine. They want to play like that. Well, we'll see him again.
Yeah. I as for my expectations for Cam Akers in this game, I'm really I'm of the mindset of they wouldn't put him back in unless he was 100%. McVay is a very health conscious head coach in that regard, and I say let the miraculous healing story narrative take place. And Cam Akers, he had a really good press conference. I believe it was yesterday, or the day before, where they asked him about his rehab and they asked him about what took place. And he mentioned all the coaching staff and he mentioned the training staff, that it was important for him to listen to what they said and for him to get back. And his quote that made I don't think it went viral, but in Rams Twitterverse, it went a little viral, where he talked about, I wouldn't come back unless I thought we had a chance at winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so you like hearing that from your young buck running back, and I'm excited for it. Got a comment here about Cam's from Adrian. Cam Akers is rusty, but Sony Michel is on fire right now. Don't fix what's not broken. So that's a fair perspective. I just think, as Ramlila said earlier, Adrian, that Cam Akers brings a breakaway speed and burst that Sony doesn't necessarily have. I do think if it's 3rd and 1, well, first off, we should not be in an empty shotgun formation. That was so mad about that. But I want to see Sony Michel out there to get that 1 yard.
Yeah. Yeah. The 3rd and 1. Well, 3rd and 1. We missed a golden opportunity. Right before halftime to score again. But yeah, Cam Akers, he opens up our offense so much. If he is, like you said, McVay is a responsible head coach, unlike the Shanahans, like Papa Shanahan, who ran RG3 into the ground with an injury, and his son Kyle puts players out there that aren't ready, and they go back out. I love that McVay's very responsible, and like you said, I trust McVay's confidence that he's ready to play. But we just have to monitor him. It's a rough game, but I look forward to him, and he's been chomping at the bit to get out there.
Absolutely. How frustrating would it be to be a young running back, and then you see your team going through the season, and you're in constant rehab, right? And your team celebrates after a win, or being with them there in the loss and the highs and lows of the season, and you're just stuck, right?
Yeah.
That would be so frustrating for a young player, especially like Cam, because he is competitive.
The one good thing is that he has pretty fresh legs.
Yeah.
So that will help him. And I don't know what was going on with the turf or the shoes they had, but it seemed like every time we ran the ball, they were falling down. They weren't able to get their footing for some reason. I haven't seen that all year. And on this in this important game, for some reason, especially Cam, it's probably just rust. But they just seem to be losing their footing as soon as they got the ball. So hopefully he got his feet wet and he's ready to go, because we got to get past these guys. And I'm looking for a Rams Niners NFC Championship game.
Oh, that'd be the
we take them out right there.
I want it. Yeah. Couple comments here. Michael, shout out to you, saying Cam Akers plus Sony Michel would be a devastating combo in the running back position. To be honest, they can. Condolences. Yeah.
One thing, can I say something real quick, Payo?
For sure.
When I was at the game, okay, you're talking about all the Niner fans. I was just thinking about that. So I was already waving bye to them.
Yeah.
with 2 minutes left, they knew they lost. They were leaving, everything was going as planned. And what do? We run the ball 3 times and give them. Now, you don't want to do that because, number one, Jared Goff isn't there no more. God bless him what he did, but we got Matthew Stafford for this time.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2 is you don't want a PI call and they get down the field or something that can happen. If you have the ball, you're in control. You have a 7-point lead with less than 2 minutes left. They have to use their timeouts regardless. But yeah, there was a lot of Niner fans leaving, and it was very quiet when we had the ball. So, I've been seeing on YouTube and all these things. There were so many Niner fans there, and I just I was there, and there was a lot of Niner fans, but they were very quiet for a long time, especially the first half. You wouldn't even know if there was a Niner fan at all. And but anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry, Payo.
No, I was just gonna give a couple of a shout out here to Pure Adrenaline Fantasy Sports. John, good to see you. He's saying hello to both of us and reminding people to hit that thumbs up. Lopez Ventures here says, Ramlila, you usually do like a virtual walking through the tailgate party area where Ram fans were. I think he's asking, were Ram fans selling ticket to Niners fans? Is that true?
You know what? I'm sure that's some truth to it. A lot of Ram fans that I know, if they can't make the game, circumstances happen. Like for me, when we got flexed to Tuesday, I sold my ticket to a buddy of mine who's a Ram fan because I couldn't make it. But I'm sure that that's true. A lot of fans, when the Rams first got here, not saying that they're Ram fans, but they would get two season tickets, and one is for them, and they can have it for a family member or sell them. So who knows? But if we win and we still on the winning pace, if we beat the teams that we're supposed to, like a third place Niner team, I don't care how good they are, they're third place. Other teams are able to beat them. We should be able to beat them with this team, and
Absolutely.
I'm already tired of losing to them. It's ridiculous. They swept us, but they got swept by the Cardinals and the Seahawks. so they can be beat. I don't know if they have a rabbit's foot or some kind of pictures on one of our coaches or something. I don't know what it is, but I'm ready to. I want them again. I want the first half, that kick in the teeth. First half, I want that for the full game, and I want to have Donald out there kneeling the ball as we win the championship game. We'll put him at quarterback, and we'll have everyone. Because we'll have the home game. Remember, we'll have the home game if we go to the NFC Championship game versus the Niners. I'll have the announcers announce all the starters off the field, and I have Aaron Donald kneeling the ball as quarterback to run out the rest of the clock.
We do have a couple of comments here. I just want to browse through. North Dallas 40, he's saying that he predicts the Dallas will beat the 49ers. And then Johnny G, shout out to you. He's saying we're going to ram it deep in the cards. The Winers are only good at beating us. They can't beat other elite teams. And I got a bot in here that we're going to block. But you know what? We don't want to talk too much about the 49ers and Cowboys matchup because we can't control that. And, I look forward to watching that game. I think it'll be a good game. I think you and I are on the same page. And I know this is, other Rams fans see this differently. We want to beat the Niners in the playoffs. That would just to me, that would be so sweet. I would love it.
Yes. Like you said, Payo, I've been a Ram fan since '79, and I was there for the Joe Montana years and the Steve Young years. And so that's why my hate for the 49ers is the way it is. It's a little different for Ram fans that are around the Kurt Warner era, because we had our way with them. But I remember those years, and that's why I hate, just like the Lakers and Celtics. You hate losing against one of those teams. But props out to my Ram brother too, Johnny G. He comes on my stream as well. And but yeah, let's we're done talking about the Niners. They're third placers. We don't need to talk about them right
now. Absolutely. So in regards to this Rams Cardinals game, I think in terms of the flow of this game, I actually think in this game, Matt Stafford isn't the most important player. I actually don't think we'll need Stafford to ball out. I think as long as Stafford doesn't have the turnovers, I actually think if we can establish a ground game here, if we can have Akers and Michelle, run for 150 plus yards total, I think that given the state of the Arizona Cardinals team, their run defense being susceptible, and I also think their O-line, especially at the interior position, is quite suspect right now. The Rams. So I actually think in order to win this game, if we can run the ball effectively and have our pass rush get after Kyler Murray, I think that's the Rams' best key to victory in that game, not putting it on Matt Stafford's shoulders for this game. And, I do believe when we face other teams like Tampa or the Packers, if we were to face them in the playoffs, Matt Stafford, a lot more would go on him. But in this game, just given the state of the Cardinals and the state of the Rams, I actually think there's maybe a little more emphasis on our run game and our pass rush. But what do you think are kind of the keys to victory for the Rams in this game?
Yeah, you have a good point. We need to get the running game going. Stafford just needs to play, basically be a game manager, pull a Jimmy G, just move the chains, just relax. Tyler Higbee will be a key guy too. Get him the ball over the middle. Our receivers and Higbee need to block and be physical. But yeah, that's the key to, and we want to get out to a little bit of a lead too. So that way we can key in on Murray and make him one-dimensional. But if Connor's not there, that would be a great, I want everybody there. Don't get me wrong. I want to be the best, but if he's not there, that'll make our job not easier, but it should be more successful on the as far as holding them down on offense. With D-Hop and Connor's not there, that's huge blows to them if he doesn't play and he's not able to play. But yeah, a running game definitely.
Well, and there's always that threat of Kyler Murray and his legs, right? He's such a shifty quarterback, and I find that yes, he is a little undersized, but that actually works to his benefit. Kyler Murray has one of the best cut moves in the NFL, and he'll make a defender miss.
Yeah.
We actually have one of my favorite Arizona Cardinals fans in the chat here. He's asking a great question. He's saying, "Question: if the Rams get eliminated on Monday, who is to blame for all those acquisitions, giving up all the draft capital?" And what I say to that is, it's not about it's the way that the Rams are building their team, and I love it. I know it seems controversial, and when you hear people say like, "Oh, the Rams are sacrificing the future for the here and now," no, they build their team differently, and I used to think that, but then when you actually listen to Les Snead talk about their drafting strategy, how they consider building a roster. I don't know if there's anyone to blame here. The Rams have had a great season. We won the NFC West.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not satisfied with that, and the expectation was Super Bowl. And I've said it all year. I love being a fan of a team that has Super Bowl expectations every year. I don't want to be one of those teams that's looking at doing their mock draft, or I see like I follow a couple of other YouTubers, and like one of the Giants ones, they were literally covering who they're interviewing for their GM. I don't want to cover that. I love that right now, this time of year, I get to cover the Rams getting ready for a playoff game. But what are your thoughts, Ramlila?
Yeah, I love this question because that's a question other teams have. We made this, like you said, that's how we're building our team. What I want to say is this: is nothing's guaranteed. Whatever acquisitions we got, nothing's guaranteed, but we're trying to win. Yeah. Now, did we know that Robert Woods was going to go out? No. Did we know that Cam Akers was going to be out the whole year? No. All those things. So guess what? If we don't win this year, we'll be all in again next year. So you'll be, you guys can spin it the way you want, and it's all good, but as long as Les Snead is there, it's like Christmas for Ram fans. We'll wake up and say, "Oh my God, we got who? We got Debo. How do we pull Debo from the 49ers?"
Yeah.
So can you imagine? We would not come in third place. Like as much as the shots as we weren't going to talk about them, but as much as the shots as McVay takes to get Shanahan, if they had McVay as their head coach, they would not be, injuries or not, I think they wouldn't be finishing in third place. But anyway, so we'll be in and out next year. If we get eliminated, then we'll be all in next year. So, it is what it is. Only one team stands at the end of the year, and we're hoping to be one of them.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about the draft after the season's over, right? There's lots of time to talk about the draft.
And we have 8 picks too, by the way. We have 8 more picks, second round picks.
I see you and Pure Gen of the Fantasy Sports say that. Yeah, we still got 8 picks. There's a couple of great questions here in the chat. I'm going to try my best to get to all of them here. The first one is by Rival Comics here. It says, since OBJ got signed in the middle of the season, is he still going to be on the Rams after the season, since he only signed for 1 year? I'm optimistic the Rams could re-sign OBJ. I think obviously he's someone who's going to want money. He's played well. Now, does signing OBJ mean sacrificing Robert Woods? That's something that we'll have to see in the offseason. But Ramlila, do you have any thoughts about this?
Yeah, so McVay talked about that a little bit. They asked him about that. There's already been talk with OBJ about trying to keep him. That's what they want to do. If somebody gives them a crazy offer, there's something we can do, but that's the plan. And again, OBJ's been spoon-fed this complicated offense. He's still basically in preseason mode. I mean, a handful of games with Stafford, and so they're learning each other. But yes, that is the plan, to try to keep OBJ with us. and the cap's going to extend. We're going to get Goff's money off of the books, and
Yes, can't
I
wait.
think Gurley's money's off of the books. Stafford's going to rework his deal and do it cap friendly, extend it out. Les Lead is a magician, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have, imagine OBJ, Woods, Cooper Kupp, Higbee, Cam Akers to begin the season. So yeah, like the other guy was asking, would it be a failed season? No, because we'll be back next year, and if we win the Super Bowl, we'll be back for another Super Bowl. We want to keep winning.
Yeah, absolutely. North Dallas 40, he gives it a question here that I feel like this gets talked about a lot. Darrell Henderson, he's someone that I really feel it is unfortunate. He had an opportunity this season to really take control and prove himself as a starting running back in the NFL. And the reality is Henderson, he has those plays where you're like, that guy is good. But then he has those other plays where it's that guy is serviceable.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I'd be okay if Sony comes back next year. So Sony's played great, especially in this latter part of the season when we've given him more touches. But do you have any kind of opinion on the Hendo Sony situation?
Is he signed through next year? Is he signed through next year?
Henderson?
I'm not sure his contract. If he is, then yeah, we'll bring him back. But I'm the same boat as you. When he's there, he's got good speed. In my opinion, he doesn't run through tackles very good. He doesn't break off tackles. You put a hand down, he falls down. But he is very good when he is playing well. But his injury problem, he's kind of like the Jimmy G of running backs.
Mm-hmm.
He's hurt all the time, but when he's out there, he's pretty effective. But if he's signed through next year, I could see us bringing him back, especially if he doesn't cost much.
So I am on overthecap.com here, and it looks like he is signed through 2022. So next year would be his contract year.
There we go. And so he'll probably go for 2,000 next year.
Well, the thing is, they're saying if we cut him before June 1st, we can save over $1 million. He doesn't have a lot on the books, so he might be a cap casualty.
Yeah, and like I mean the Niners. I'm bringing them up only. No, let's forget them. Let's use the Patriots. The Patriots. Almost as bad bringing the Patriots, but they have a stable running backs. You can replace running backs to sub them in and out, but like a Cam Akers, those are different type of running backs. So if he doesn't cost us much and we're able to bring him back, if we do get OBJ and we need that $1 million, then we'll have to cut him. We'll have to, scrape around to get to sign these guys. But yeah, if he's still signed, I can see us bringing him back and have a 3-headed monster to bring Akers back slowly and then also I can see us using him and Sony towards the end of the playoffs, right before the playoffs, to keep Cam Akers fresh for the playoffs next year. So yeah, if we bring him back, he's already signed, and yeah, that's fine.
And in contrast, I also don't think that it would be a total shock if Henderson wasn't brought back. I think Sony would come back. I'd say there's more of a chance of Sony coming back than Henderson. Yeah. And Henderson might be due for a fresh start with a new team. Sometimes that happens for players. And I do think if that happens, though, the Rams would draft another running back. We still drafted Jake Funk last year.
Yes.
So not sure what's going to happen with the Funk, as I like to call him.
Yes.
Everyone watching, thank you so much. We got 19 people in here. If you could smash that like button, we'll try and get to as many of these comments and questions as we can. We got lots of them coming in. So I'm going to have to skip over a few. But a question here for you, Ramlila, is on game day, or does the Ramlila Sports Report on game day walk out with one barefoot in honor of Mike Lansford?
Good question. Beautiful, Mike. I remember him kicking big kicks in the snow against we lost in the championship game in '85. And then in '86, we beat him I think it was a Mike Lansford kick. He didn't wear any shoes on his kicking foot. Amazingly how that was.
Yeah, I remember, when I probably when in like 2011, 2012 is when I started to really like take my Rams fandom to kind of next level. And I started looking at like the historical Rams player. And I remember like when I first heard about like Mike Lansford as a barefoot kicker, you're like, no, that was a thing. And because
Yeah,
today's NFL, it seems so crazy. But
he was amazing. OG Rams legendary kicker Mike Lansford. Yes.
mhm. um our NFL Arizona Cardinals fan here asks, who do you think has more to prove, Murray or Stafford in this game? Interesting question when you look at it, because in one hand you have Stafford. He's been with the Lions. He's never got a playoff win. The Rams traded a lot to get him. There's that narrative as well, for Stafford. And Murray, Kyler Murray, in that regards, he was the number 1 overall pick. He's been playing at an MVP level at parts of his career. He's never been to the playoffs. I tend to lean that Stafford would have more to prove, just because I feel like the later and later you get in your career, the more you have to prove that you should still be there. We're seeing that with Big Ben and some of these other older quarterbacks. Not saying Stafford doesn't have years left in him, absolutely. But just I think at the point of careers that they're at, because Murray is younger. But that's my opinion. What about you, Ramelia?
Definitely. Murray's a young guy. He's got plenty of years to take the next step, and I think the Cards are a year away from being serious contenders. But Matthew Stafford, especially you have the Skip Bayless out there, and then the other fans. They always they say, what has he won? What has he done? Well, he's got more pressure on him and more not really to prove, but just to shut the naysayers up. And he's done step one. At first, this is his first division crown in his career with the Rams. That's not being said. You don't hear the Skip Baylesses and all them talk about that. But that's he's been in the league all this time, and first year with the Rams, division crown. Matthew Stafford has more to, and plus because we went to trade him to get us over the hump. Right now Stafford, but Murray, with that huge start they had in the letdown, he's still a young fella, but that was a huge letdown because they were running away with the division, and then for us to win it out from under them, that's one thing. They're in a slump right now, so hopefully we'll keep them on the slump side, because they lost the last game. That's one thing that we're not talking about. They lost the last game, and they didn't look very good, and so hopefully we'll keep them slumping and get past them.
That's the hope. But thank you for that question, NFL AZ Cardinals. Appreciate it. Interesting comment here from Johnny G saying, last time the Rams and Cards met in the playoffs, it was 1975. The Rams won and Cards were in St. Louis. Oh, that is so interesting.
We used to kid with our Ramlila in St. Louis, says, hey, well, maybe the Cards will go back to St. Louis for you guys. And they go, I don't know, but it's all in good fun. LA Rams and St. Louis fans. When they came back to Los Angeles, we would go back. I have a few buddies in Los Angeles and St. Louis, and but yeah, that's great history of the Rams and Cardinals, both the teams that were in St. Louis.
Yeah, it's sort of like this, kind of weird connection we have, and we're in the same division, and yeah, anything to feed the narrative, right? Grand Desir 12 here asks, or he says, it's rare to hear from a Rams fan from the 70s. I remember their first Super Bowl appearance later on when Dickerson was drafted by the Rams. I got his rookie card, but it was from a non-expensive question. That's cool though. Jackson, shout out to you. He's saying horns up, new season, and it's a new season, right? You're in the playoffs.
Yes,
anything can happen. Absolutely.
Clean slate.
And I've heard it said a lot this week, but I'll say it again. What happened in the regular season, your record, your like Cooper Kupp's record that we'll celebrate for years to come, none of that matters. Right now, it doesn't, because if you lose, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Win or go home, as they say. Hello, the casual fan. Good to see you as well. Um, Here's a question from Rival Comics here saying, do you think we should keep Stafford next year or trade for Russell Wilson? I think we should keep Stafford.
Yes.
Personally. I understand Russell Wilson. First of all, I don't think the Seahawks would ever trade Russell Wilson to someone in the NFC West like the Rams. But I also think that when you make a trade like you do for Stafford, you make that trade assuming you have at least 4 or 5+ years with him. Do you have any thoughts on the kind of the long-term ramifications of Stafford?
Yeah. So, Stafford, year one has been great. Year two is going to be amazing. Year three, year four. Um, I think he's going to be with us for at least 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And I would love to see that and have us hopefully put behind us a couple of Super Bowl championships. And also too, I really love and I'm high on, and this is another day for another topic, um, on um, on our backup quarterback, Bryce Perkins. He's a mobile quarterback that'll add what Trey Lance is adding to the 49ers, where they hope he'll add with mobile quarterback. I really love his arm. Next year is going to be a competition between him and Wolford because we kept 3 quarterbacks. So the future is very bright. But I look for Matthew Stafford to do wonderful things for us in the next upcoming years. And Russell Wilson, who knows? Maybe he'll go to the Steelers. And if I was the Seahawks, I would package Russell Wilson for draft picks and their head coach.
Yeah, yeah, that's and I think something that's going to be fun is the reality is the Seahawks are a team with a lot of question marks in the offseason. And as a football fan who enjoys following football year round, I'm curious to what's going to happen with Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll for sure. Shout out to Mike. He's saying he hopes the Rams use more play action and some jet sweeps with Odell. Oh, yeah. Just more jet sweeps in general, because like even last game we ran one jet sweep and Cup got a first down off it.
And that's the thing I'm talking about with being acclimated with OBJ. The more he gets comfortable with this, we'll add him more into our offense. So, that's a good take.
Absolutely. Bayless is a clown. I actually, it's funny, since starting doing this YouTube thing, I don't know if you find this. I just I don't watch a lot of corporate media anymore. Like I don't watch like Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp anymore, just because like I'd rather watch like you or like some of the other Rams YouTubers, or even like Tom Grossi and like I find there's more passionate people on YouTube that you can relate to, and that I think at times give better takes in the sports world. Do you find yourself in that regard?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I do watch it when his teams go down to see what's going to. Are you a Patriot? I mean, are you a Bucks and Tom Brady fan, or are you a Cowboy fan? But Skip Bayless is a genius. Somebody said it where he all these Twitter people that are following him, subscribing to him, and watch him basically hate the guy. 90% of them, 80 some percent of them, and they're still following him. So he gets millions of dollars for what he does. He's there to cause chaos and get people talking. So I understand it's like a show. It's a show. That's what it is.
Absolutely. And
that's what it is.
And like again, you're right. He's the highest paid sports journalist in the history of the world, right? Like, Michael asked a great question here. Which team in the NFC playoffs are you guys most afraid of to face with? Interesting question. I truly believe that the Rams can compete with anybody in the NFC. If there was one that I felt, if we played them, that they match up well against us, I would say it is the Niners. But at the same time, I want to play them because I want to beat them. But I would also say that I think Green Bay, going into Green Bay, it's going to be a tough game for anyone that goes in there. Those are some of my thoughts. What are you thinking, Ramlila?
I'm with you. We're not afraid of anybody. the team that matches up with us good is the 49ers, and we kicked them in the teeth the first half. We just have to keep it going. It's almost like Ivan Drago and Rocky. He does bleed, when Rocky hit him in the temple and he's bleeding. We just got to keep that up, and I love to face them a third time. But the Packers are the one that this will be the third time we would face them if we got there with them. And so not that we fear its matchups, and we do match up better with the Packers. We just haven't taken advantage of our situations. But the cold weather and all that, I think because the Super Bowl's on the line, that's not going to matter. If I was McVay and we got out there, I would have him out there early and practicing in that cold, get used to it. But yeah, I don't think I'm with you. We don't fear anybody. We just want to get there, and whoever it is, we'll pack our defense with us, and Aaron Donald and everybody's ready to roll.
Absolutely. And if they do go to Lambeau, I think the Rams should come and visit me in my minus 30 degrees Canadian winter, and I'll show them how to play snow football.
Yeah.
Oh, funny. Let's see. I am gonna have to skip through some of these comments, guys. We are, this is amazing. We got lots of people in here. This is great.
Awesome.
We'll maybe take this question and maybe one or two more after this. But what are your both three keys to beating the Cardinals? And devil's advocate, what are the three keys to beating the Rams? We kind of alluded to this earlier, and I think Ramlila and I would agree that number one key is the run game this game. And then I would say number two, our pass rush. And then I would say number three is really seeing how this Rams retooled secondary performs, against this Cardinals offense. Eric Weddle coming in. I did enjoy. Did you watch the 45-minute interview with Eric Weddle?
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing. It was great. It was a lot of fun. It made me excited to for him. He knows what this opportunity is. So I'm excited for Weddle to come in, and I hope he plays well.
Me too. That's gonna the football IQ. He's a past Pro Bowler. He's gonna rein the kids in. He's gonna be a presence in the clubhouse. He's gonna help Ramsey man the defense. It's just a young secondary, and this is it's a good signing, especially if he is in shape. He looks like he is. He's a man of his word. He said he's been working out, and I can't wait. For us to beat the Cardinals, we have to corral Murray. If Connor doesn't play, that's going to be a huge bonus for us. Unfortunately, I want everybody to play, but if he doesn't play, but we have to score on our side. We have to score. If it's going to be a close game, so be it. But we can't have any turnovers. We got to get after Murray, keep him pinned down. Because he's a shorter guy, the passing lanes, he has to run out to the outside. So sometimes he can see downfield. If you keep him towards the middle, you're able to knock passes down, and he can't see over the lineman. I wouldn't say there's three keys, but if we play a clean game, there's no turnovers. We play our game, we'll have a good chance. If Kyler Murray goes off and he's breaking first downs and keeping the chains running, it could be a close game.
Yeah, I very much agree with that, and I think that if the Cardinals were able to take a 2-3 score lead early and dominate the time of possession, that seems to be the recipe for beating the Rams. But again, if they don't have James Conner and Edmonds there, I think they struggle to fulfill that recipe because they're missing two key ingredients to play that game. But at the end of the day, I'm stoked for this game. In the in the NFL playoffs, we have seen some weird games in the past. I actually have a little bit of a pit in my stomach that this is going to be a game where the refs get involved too much, and we don't like to see that. But I feel like there could be some controversial calls, and I'm one of those people. I'm quick to forgive refs. They have a tough job. I want to see it done right, but I kind of accept that reffing in the NFL and bad calls are part of the game, and it sucks. Because the Rams have definitely been on both sides. We've had calls that have gone our way. We have definitely have missed calls and calls against us that were atrocious. And I don't think we're on the same level as like Lions fans and things like that. But yeah, definitely reffing. It's a two-way street for the Rams, and I'm hoping it's a clean game. I always have this nervousness and pit in my stomach that a big important game like this comes down to the refs. Oh,
Yeah.
We got you know what, guys, we'll maybe take one more comment here. There's so many great ones here, but we'll finish this last comment here. It's question, get to know Ramlila question. How did Ramlila become a Rams fan? Who is his all-time one favorite player on offense and defense? How many jerseys does he own?
Oh, good question. Thank you for asking. Okay, so I became a Ram fan as a kid when the Rams played the Steelers in the Super Bowl. Um, I was just some dumb kid, and I saw the Rams and how the quarterback was throwing the ball to deep to guys like Billy Waddy and Preston Denard, and ever since then, Ferragamo was one of my favorite quarterbacks, and so that's how I became a Ram fan in '79. And then my one favorite player on offense and defense. So my favorite player, probably, it's very close. It's hard to say that, but Marshall Faulk is one of my favorite players of all time, as well as Eric Dickerson.
Love both those players.
One thing I want to tell you, Eric Dickerson doesn't get his due, because imagine Emmitt Smith taking the Cowboys, or even Walter Payton taking the Bears, or all the great running backs, taking their team to the NFC Championship game on his back, because he took the Rams, the '85 Rams, to the championship. And it was a little known quarterback named Dieter Brock, who stood 5'11" from I think the Canadian League, I think actually, the CFL. And he was out of the league after a year or two, but basically he did everything. 248 yards against the Cowboys to get us to the championship game. So he's one of their two honorable mention. But Marshall Faulk, and then on defense, my favorite defensive player, it's between Aaron Donald now and Jack Youngblood, John Wayne and Cleats. As a kid, I remember Jack Youngblood.
Very cool. Yeah, no. And you know what, guys, we are going to end the stream there. Ramlila, it's been a pleasure having you on. Please stick around. I want to talk to you a little bit afterwards.
Okay.
But everyone watching in to this edition of Ram Fans Talking Rams, there's gonna be a lot more content coming out in the next couple of days. We got lots of stuff coming for this big Rams Cardinals game. And yeah, we appreciate all of you and your support for this growing YouTube community. And please smash that like button and make sure you subscribe. If you have to pick between the two of us, make sure you go subscribe to the Ramlila Sports Report, or you can subscribe to both. But Ramlila, you're one of my favorite YouTubers. I love what you do on your channel, and I'm excited for more great content to come. That being said, we are gonna peace out here. So Ramlila, signature catchphrase.
Oh, as we always say, may the Ramlila be with you, and Ramulators, mount up.
Love it. All right. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video.